Hey guys, and welcome to another tutorial on our Unity project that we have here. And today I wanted to bring a type of concept to you because some people may use other means or just write it out. When you're doing a small function that you want to use across a lot of different things. Let's see, where is our good old FPS script? Here we go. Resources. Okay. Because I'm using it in resources. Like this class right here that we actually did right here would be a very good example of a multicast that you could do. Now, you see this send message right here? And we can put away. Well, see, the thing about doing it this way, this calls a function. It doesn't care. This cast right here doesn't care about any parameters or anything. It just calls on this game object put away. And when we go to our weapon script put away, just starts the coroutine and everything else. Well, if you wanted to use this across a multi-spectrum of 100 different objects, then it would have to be a weapon, right? Because that's the only place that it exists in a weapon script. But let's say you wanted a button, okay? Well, a button, you have to hard code a lot of things, and it becomes tied into one specific thing. It doesn't go across a whole lot of things. Well, it's true, but in another way, we can actually fix that to do something else. Like, take this cast right here, okay? It's just calling a put away. Let's call this something a little different because it doesn't care. It just sends it to one object. This is just a regular game object. And then whatever object that's in Unity that has, like, this is a game object, well, this script has this, or this script has this, or this script has another thing. It doesn't care about the name of the script. Let's see. It doesn't care about the name in this script or this. It just sends a message to this particular game object right here. And if it has a function called put away, it calls it. Okay, it invokes the method. Okay, it runs it. There's some yes and no things to this. Send message will only work on a active game object. Now, the game object actually has to be active in order to get this call, which is fine for this particular thing. But what if you have stuff that's, let's say, dead um or shut off? Well, as far as I can tell, now I might be wrong about this. I haven't tested this exact example yet. I think it really doesn't. What's our example class do again? Let's see. What can we actually do that does send message that actually is not active? Hmm. There actually isn't anything. Uh, wow. Well, anyway, this has to be active on the game object. We could actually probably look this up in the documents, but I don't believe the script actually has to be active. This is enabled, and well, the easy way to remember this is these are enable functions, okay? This is set active because you're doing a game object instead of a script, okay? So when you're doing, let's say you want to turn your directional light off, you do an enable. here, but you doing it a set active because it's a transform, a game object. Okay, so we want to do this across multiple different things. Well, we already know the game object that we want to do because we can do, let's say, array cast across from it. We don't actually care about anything else. But let's do, say we're doing array cast. We do weapon dot send message because it's probably active. Okay. Well, instead of put away, we could always put a string into it and go maybe a generalization of certain things that you want. Like I would say action. Okay. Which there's another method that you can use. It's a Unity action or a C# action. Those are like void calls. Okay, so you may not want to do that, or you may. I may get into that a little bit later on. But because we have this action here, we can use this to go, let's say hits. It doesn't exist in this, but you already know what that means because of our weapon object right here. Okay? Just think of it like this. Okay, we got array, and it goes out a vector, and it's the hit point. Okay? And for each here, if it's not hit transform does not equal this transform, and closest hit equals null, or hit dot distance is greater than distance, then blah 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 blah. And it returns the closest transform, which is the hit transform. Okay, so it's a game object, and it returns it. Well, because it returns in our function up here, where is it? Rayfire? Okay. And we do this compare tag. Well, we don't really have to do this. We can go into it and go, I'm probably going to regret this, but hit dot, and we can do a broadcast message. And like it says, calls the method name on every mono behavior in this game object or any of its children, which it will do in its children. But that might not be useful for you because you want to do just the single one, which is what I use a lot, which is send message, which is the single game object, because you might not want it to go across every object in it. That might be a little redundant, and it might be a little heavy, especially if you're doing that every 10 seconds, because it's basically got to go through the whole children of it. So if you got like 20 or 30 children on that, and it all got script, and it's got to go through yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, which seems pretty severe, especially since you can probably just layer mask a lot of it out and it go directly to that game object. But we just do a send message, okay, and then we can call this, and then send message. Send message don't require a receiver. That way we don't get an error when dumb stuff happens. We cap it off like so, and then we would call an action, which could be the action in the class could be, hey, take X amount of damage every time I call action. And it doesn't care about any of it. See, now we have array cast with a specific thing where it calls this action method. So it doesn't really care about tag